My name's Simon Camilleri, and before we begin, I've learnt a new word recently. It's called sonder. Has anyone heard that word before? It was invented like 2 years ago by this guy who wrote this book, John Koenig. He wrote the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. It was a New York Times bestseller, and he invented the word sonder to describe a common human experience. In the chapter that he talks about how we all live as if we're the main character in the movie of our lives, and that everyone else is sort of extras. But we come to realise at some different points in our life that everyone else is also living like that, and we're sort of extras in their story. The first time I had this experience, which he describes as sonder, was in primary school. I used to walk to school as a little kid, and I used to see the trees and the clouds behind the trees. And as I walked along, the clouds would walk along with me, follow me, and the trees would go past. And I used to think that was pretty special, really. And then I'd stop, and the clouds would stop too. And then I'd move backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and the clouds would move backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I distinctly remember thinking, that must look very weird to everyone else. The clouds just stopping and then moving backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and and then I sort of dawned on me that maybe the clouds are following them too in their perspective, and maybe the clouds weren't actually following me after all. This is a little song that I wrote to express those moments in my life when I learned that lesson. I actually performed it 12 years ago at Bundy Unplugged with these two wonderful people playing these instruments. Kevin on trombone and William on drums. And yes, please. Yes, and so it's wonderful to come back, get the band back together, and perform it once again for you, because if you're like me, we need to learn this lesson over and over. turn to the person next